to the Blues streaming network. It's another wonderful day here in San Luis Obispo. It's finally July baseball, and we will bring you into the press box to talk a little bit about last night's game and what we can expect for the game today. My name is Addy Daudet, once again joined by Vincent Regalado, the Director of Baseball Operations, but I think you can now add onto your title.
Color commentator.
Yeah.
Production assistant, color commentator, director of baseball ops.
Yeah. So once again, very happy to have you on, as I'm sure everyone else is as well. Let's first start off by taking a little bit of a look at the game last night. It was the second game in a two-game series against the San Francisco Seagulls. The Blues had taken the game the day before and then came into the game last night kind of with a little bit of a different lineup than we've been used to seeing.
Yeah, and the biggest change of it was putting Cesar Chavez, who normally leads off for us, in the three-hole. I mean, we toyed around with that a little bit earlier in the year, but yesterday was for the sole purpose of getting people in front of him on base so that he could perform with runners on base, which he did yesterday.
Yes, he did. I think maybe one of the biggest takeaways from last night's game, Quincy Winkler on the mound. What was that like to you, seeing him go back out on the mound? How did that make you feel?
So here's the beautiful thing about all of this is that I've been in the dugout in these pitchers meetings all year, and Dean Trainer has constantly told these pitchers, he asked this one question, Addy, how many fastballs do you think a pitcher should have?
3 or 4?
Wrong.
Oh.
Should have 6.
Oh.
one for each quadrant of the zone. You should be able to throw your four-seam fastball in 6 quadrants of the zone, which is exactly what Quincy Winkler was able to do yesterday. He was probably one of the first people that actually put that into action, and you saw that yesterday, 12 strikeouts over 7 dominant innings.
I think you mentioned the 12 strikeouts over 7 innings, which is so impressive in and of itself. I think from the very first inning, it was so obvious this was going to be a very good game for Quincy Winkler. He strikes out the first 3 batters on just, I believe, 8 pitches. No.
Yeah, 11 pitches.
11 pitches. 11 pitches. The first 2 batters struck out on just 3 pitches, 3 fastballs. The first one looking, the second one swinging, and then the number 3 guy, he got 2 balls, but once again went down swinging against Quincy Winkler, and from then on it was just a lights-out game for Quincy. Additionally, just from the bullpen in general, only 4 times did the Seagulls have a runner on base, and only once in scoring position.
And that was in the last inning,
in
Addy.
The very last inning.
When you think of the word domination, that is what you experienced by the Blues pitching staff yesterday, was total, complete domination. Quincy Winkler, who else? I believe
Trey Legrone
pitched yesterday. I believe Charlie Ferris pitched yesterday as well. Yeah. So, those 3 people, with what they were able to do against that lineup right there. And make no mistake about it, the more times you play an opponent, the harder it becomes to beat them. So the fact that you were able to dominate them the last 2 games of the season series says a lot about the Blues pitching staff. 100%.
The Blues beat the Seagulls 5-0 yesterday. It was the 4th time they've beat the Seagulls this season. They played them twice up in San Bruno a couple of weeks ago. A part of that 5-game series that they went on, and then once again twice here today. The San Francisco Seagulls with only 3 hits on the day. 3 hits on the day, and unable to capitalize on any of them. They actually did not score against the Blues once here at Sinsheimer. They didn't score in the game prior to last night and didn't score in the game last night as well. So great showing from the Blues, despite even having a little bit of a different lineup. You mentioned Cesar Chavez in that number 3 hole, and that did not seem to matter. What a game from Chavez. 4 at-bats. He flew out to right field in 2 of them, but the other 2 times a 2 RBI single to score 2 runs in the 3rd and then 2 more in the 7th. 4 of the 5 runs scored by Cesar Chavez. So what a showing from him. And then, of course, Quincy Winkler. Today, we can get back to a little bit more of our usual lineup that we're kind of used to. Once again, though, Chavez in that 3 spot. So we'll kind of see how he's liking it there the second time around. And on the mound for the Blues today, Troy Cooper.
Troy Cooper from Cal Poly, who is a fantastic pitcher. What we're looking for from Troy Cooper today is to see if he puts that plan of action into place here during this game. 6 fastballs, you should be able to throw 4 strikes to come after hitters. We'll see if he's got that, but the fastball and the slider should be the main pitches tonight.
Well, folks, we will have it here for you guys in just about 5 minutes, so stay tuned, and we will be back once again the game in about 5 minutes. The San Luis Obispo Blues taking on the San Diego Bombers. It'll be a 2-game series. They'll play again tomorrow, of course, a firework night tomorrow in preparation for the 4th of July on Saturday. So we will have that all here on the Blues Streaming Network when we get back. Well, folks, it's just about time for first pitch here at Sinsheimer Park. And we will take a little look at the fielding for the Blues before we get started here. Over at first base today is going to be Mason Ashlock. Over at second, Diego Gonzalez, followed by Diego Murillo at short and Brendan Comerford at second. The left to the right in the outfield is going to be Kyle Becker, Cesar Chavez, and Kosei Suzuki. The battery for today, Kevin Spear in the squat, and Troy Cooper on the mound, the designated hitter, Miles Mater. They'll take on the San Diego Bombers here in just a minute. Troy Cooper, a local Mustang at Cal Poly. And we'll take a little look at the starting lineup for the Bombers. Leading it off in just a moment's time is Dylan Martin, followed by Jet Grossart. Gianluca Finelli is in the 3 spot. Aiden Harrison will clean it up. Jeremy Jones, he's out in right field, and he will hit in the 5 spot, followed by Dylan Towning and EJ Brooks in the 7. Jackson Summers hitting in the 8 spot, and Joey Dossel, the designated hitter, and rounding it out for the San Diego Bombers. We will get started here in just a moment. Another beautiful day here at Sinsheimer. The wind is blowing, but no clouds in the sky for now. Dylan Martin steps to the plate, and he'll lead it off for the Bombers today. Troy Cooper on the mound. The first pitch is swung on and fouled back at 6:07 p.m. It's 65 degrees and sunny here in San Luis Obispo, a beautiful July night. The count is 0-1. Called strike 2 to Dylan Martin to lead it off. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and sent to Comerford over at third, and a great catch from Brendan Comerford. He goes back into the infield grass a little bit, the outfield grass, a little bit of a blooper from Martin. And Comerford able to time that right and stretch to get that ball, and that will be out number 1.
Welcome back, Brendan Comerford, Addy.
Yeah, we saw a little absence from Comerford.
His absence was missed.
His absence.
I tell you what, he was missed.
That brings up Jet Grossart. The 1 pitch is high for ball number 1. The 1-0 is swung on for strike 1. Cooper last appeared on the mound for the Blues against the Arroyo Seco Saints in the second game of the 3-game series. So on a Saturday of last week, he pitched 1 2/3 innings with 2 strikeouts. Fans already calling for their hot sauce here in the top of the first inning. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and sent up the middle. Incoming is Diego Murillo. He'll toss it to Ashlock at first, and that will be out number 2.
It's a great play by Diego Murillo. That's a play where your internal clock is moving really, really fast. He looks like he was able to slow himself down and make the play.
Gianluca Finelli will come to the plate, and we've consistently talked about the athleticism over there by Murillo, and you can tell just in his mind that he's also able to calculate kind of how he's going to approach a ball, not just physically act it out, but how he's going to approach it. You kind of could see a weird little jump from the ball as it was going towards shore, and he was able to make the right adjustments to turn his body and send it over to Ashlock, who stands on first.
You know what I would consider, Addy? You've ever seen football when you see a wide receiver make like an out-of-bounds catch?
Yeah.
They say he has terrific body control. That's what I think about when I think of Diego Murillo.
I could not agree more. The count is 0-2 to Gianluca Finelli. Troy Cooper already with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. The 0-2 pitch is swung on, and that will be it for the top of the first inning. The Blues face just the minimum. A pop up to third base, followed by a ground out to short, and a strikeout to end it out for the top of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base, and the Blues will swing the bats when we get back. The Blues coming to swing the bats the first time today, but first let's take a look at the lineup. Coming to the plate right now is Brendan Comerford. He's hitting in that number 1 spot. We'll talk about that in a minute. Diego Murillo in the 2, Cesar Chavez 3, Miles Mader cleaning it up, the designated hitter in the 4 spot, Kyle Becker, Mason Ashok, and Kosei Suzuki in the middle, Kevin Spear in the 8, and rounding it off is Diego Gonzalez in the 9 hole. And the third baseman will lead it off here in the first.
I can tell you, Addy, this is probably my favorite lineup of the year. And you know why? We've been having these conversations all year about what lineup projects to score the most runs in a given scenario. At this moment with the roster that we have right now, the one that projects to score the most runs is with this man leading off.
Well, we'll see how Comerford does up here in the number 1 spot. We've had quite the rotation here. I'm really excited to see how he does. He's always a fun batter to watch at the plate. I find him to be a very competitive, have very competitive at-bats as he swings for strike 2. The count is 1-2 to the leadoff batter, Brendan Comerford. On the mound is Sam Birchie as he strikes out Brendan Comerford looking. Let's take a little bit of a look at the fielding for the San Diego Bombers. Over at first is Aiden Harrison. At second is E.J. Barnes. Third, Jet Grissart and Dylan Martin over at shortstop. From left to right in the outfield is Gianluc Finelli, Jackson Summers, and Jeremy Jones. The battery for today is Dylan Towning, and as I just mentioned, Sam Birchie on the mound, the designated hitter, Joey Dossel. To the plate is Diego Murillo over playing shortstop today. He'll swing on strike 1. Little look at Sam Birchie, a river otter from Lewis and Clark in this past season. Appeared in 14 games with 7 starts, 44 and 1/3 innings pitched with 47 strikeouts on 37 walks and 43 hits, an ERA of 6.29.
Addy, the one thing to look out for here with Sam Birchie on the mound is the one type of pitcher that the Blues have struggled with so far this year is left-handed pitchers. They're only hitting about .230 on the year against left-handed pitchers.
The count is 1-2 to Diego Murillo. He just sees ball 1. Sam Birchie, who sits at 6'8", 6 feet 8 inches, 220 pounds, as that ball is swung up into right field, and Diego Murillo with the first base hit of the game.
And that's just knowing your approach right there. I mean, the first 2 pitches, swings and misses. He obviously was putting his A swing into it, taking a longer stride. They're just kind of reacting to it and shooting it between the 3-4 hole right there to get on first.
That'll bring up Cesar Chavez in that number 3 spot again today. He'll come to the plate with a runner on first and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Chavez, who had a day yesterday at the plate. He flew out twice to right field, but at the same time he had two RBI singles. Big singles. They scored 4 of the runs for the Blues yesterday on a just 5-0 game. The count 1-0 to the center fielder. Pitch home, a called strike as Murillo takes off for second. The throw not in time, and Murillo with a stolen base.
I believe that is what they call a delayed steal. He didn't take off right away, but it caught the catcher by surprise. He was about to fire that ball back to Birchie. Had to bring it back to a throwing motion to try and get him at second and was just too late.
The count is now 1-1 to Cesar Chavez. The runner now stands in scoring position. The pitch home is low and inside for ball 2.
The one thing I can really appreciate about Cesar Chavez is it does not matter what spot in the lineup he's batting. His approach always stays the same. He's going to make the pitcher work. He knows what he wants to swing at, and he's not going to waste the at-bat.
The 2-1 is up high, and Chavez with 3 balls and 1 strike. Diego Murillo stands on second. The designated hitter on deck. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The 3-1 pitch is low, and Cesar Chavez will draw a walk. The Blues with 2 base runners here in the bottom of the first inning. 1 in scoring position, and Miles Mader to the plate.
And you can kind of look at this from 2 schools of thought, Addy. You don't really want to walk a person right there, but because Diego stole the base and there's a spot open at first base, it's not the worst thing in the world. But now you've got to deal with Miles Mader with 2 runners on.
There's a 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning.
It's an aggressive walk.
It was a very aggressive walk. Sorry, I delayed my response to you.
And it looks like a balk.
And it looks like a balk. I think he maybe dropped the ball.
Can't do that, Addy.
No, you cannot. And quickly, 2 runners in scoring position. Diego Murillo will head over to third and Chavez to second. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but the ball fell out of his hands, and the Blues in scoring position.
Now the infield is all in, and it's kind of interesting when you have the entire infield in the first inning. It's almost like they're not expecting to score runs today, so they're trying to prevent as many as possible. It's not a novel concept, I tell you what, but not the move that I would make in the first inning.
Miles Mader swings at pitch number 1. He fouls it off to the visiting dugout. The count is 0-1. Big swing from Mader for strike number 2. There's just 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning with just 4 batters coming to the plate so far. 2 runners are in scoring position. Diego Murillo, the shortstop, stands on first, and Chavez on second.
And the thing about Birchie is that primarily he's going to throw the fastball, but he actually secretly has 3 other pitches. He just barely throws them, and Miles saw one of them right there.
The 0-2 misses just outside for ball number 1. The infield in close. Chavez and Murillo both off of their respective bags. The count is 1-2, and that pitch will miss low. And the count is even.
That's a catcher's eye right there, Addy, taking a really close pitch, expecting it to be called a ball. Miles did not even flinch at that to think it was a strike.
The Hoosier from Indiana University, it's his 17th game with the Blues so far this season, an average of .317. The pitch home misses low and inside, and the count is full. 2 runners in scoring position. The designated hitter, Miles Mater, at the plate.
You have to wonder, does he need to throw him a strike here given Kyle Becker is on deck? Becker's still searching for his first hit the entire season against left-handed pitching.
Mater with 16 RBIs. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and sent to the second baseman. He's on the ground, but he'll make the toss over to first. No runners will go, and there's 2 outs in the first inning.
And playing the infield in worked. Surprisingly, usually in the first inning you see something that just goes up the middle. I think to his advantage, the second baseman did actually misplay the ball. Diego was never really thinking about running, but he honestly could have made that had he decided to run. But you can never tell when a fielder is making the error like that.
I think also being in, he was not expecting the ball to come out as hard at him as it did, but was able to get his body in front of it. I mean, puts the knee down, gets his body in front of it, and keeps it in the field of play and able to make an easy throw over to first base to get the second out. And that's a huge difference, to have 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position versus having 1. And has to make the pitcher, Birchie, a little bit more happy with Kyle Becker coming to the plate, the left fielder for the Blues.
Former San Diego Bomber, Kyle Becker.
And future Torero. He'll hit that one off the bat over into the bullpen for the San Diego Bombers. I almost said the San Diego Padres. Wouldn't that be fun?
The Padres do not play here, Addy.
The Padres do not play here. Diego Murillo stands on third. Cesar Chavez stands on second. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back. 2 strikes to Kyle Becker. Becker, who did not appear in the game last night, but did appear in the game before that. He hit in the 4th spot and did not record a hit. Did not reach base either. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and hit back over to the second baseman, and he'll make the throw to first. And that'll be it for the first inning. The Blues with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. There's no score going into the top of the second inning. Aiden Harrison will lead it off for the Bombers here in the top of the second inning. The Blues leave 2 runners on in the bottom of the first. They don't score either of them Troy Cooper on the mound for the San Luis Obispo Blues. He faced just the minimum in the top of the first inning as he serves in ball 1. A pop fly to the third baseman, a ground out to the shortstop, and a strikeout to finish off the top of the first. As a big swing from Harrison for strike 1. Aiden Harrison, a Ranger at Regis University, a part of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. We'll see quite a bit of that, quite a few RMAC players very familiar with Regis University.
The RMAC is taking over the CCL.
The RMAC is taking over the CCL. It really is. I'm okay with that. I love to see RMAC players come here. It's always fun. He played the last 2 years at Regis University in Colorado this past season. Played in 51 games, starting all of them, 193 at-bats, 65 hits, 9 doubles, 3 triples, 11 home runs. And that will be it for the Ranger from Regis University. He will strike out swinging to Troy Cooper.
Troy Cooper just completely challenging him with high fastballs in that at-bat. I mean, to serve him up a fastball in the same exact spot 4 times in a row is not something that you do unless you're very confident in that pitch.
Jeremy Jones will come to the plate. The Bombers looking for their first base runner of the day. It'll be a called strike. That ball bouncing out of the hands of catcher Kevin Spear. It'll be ball 1 low and inside. Jeremy Jones will foul that one off. Goes to Los Angeles Pierce College. Originally from Porter Ranch. He's out in right field today. Has played his last 2 seasons out at Los Angeles Pierce College. The 1-2 count, and that is it. Jeremy Jones struck out looking, and that'll be 3 strikeouts from Troy Cooper so far, and he'll face Dylan Towning now. Fans getting a fill of their hot sauce already today.
Addy, I think I've seen about 4 fastballs from Troy Cooper so far this year, 4 different ones. And if you can imagine a 3x3 grid, let's do 3 on top, 3 in the middle, 3 on the bottom. He's able to throw it in 6 zones.
That one hit down to the second baseman, who fields it and throws it to first to get the last out. Once again, Troy Cooper faces just the minimum here in the top of the 2nd inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to finish it off, and we will head into the bottom of the 2nd. The Blues looking for their first run of the game. We'll have it here on the Blues Streaming Network. Mason Ashlock will lead it off for the Blues here in the bottom of the second inning. The Blues left two runners on in the bottom of the first. Diego Murillo over at third and Chavez at second. Ashlock will look to put the first run on the board for the game. Troy Cooper, who faced just the minimum in the top of the second inning. He struck out the first two batters in a ground out to Diego Gonzalez at second to finish it off. The count is 1-1 to Mason Ashlock. On the mound is Sam Birchie. That ball hit foul over into the Blues bullpen, out into the bushes back there. The 1-2 pitch. And the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mason Ashlock, who's over at first base today. We saw Sean Rivas there in last night's game. He hit in the 5 spot last night.
Good job by Mason Ashlock showing some discipline in this at-bat. It's getting there compared to where it was at the beginning of the summer. He has shown much more patience at this point in the summer.
The count is full to the first baseman, Mason Ashlock. He'll hit that one over to the second baseman, who will make the play to first. And that will be it for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. Quite a bit of action over to the second baseman for the Bombers so far today. It's E.J. Barnes standing over there. The last 3 outs all going to him. Kosei Suzuki, the right fielder, will now come to the plate. First pitch, a called strike to Suzuki. He did not appear in the game last night, but he did in the night before that. Recorded a single in the 6th with a stolen base. He'll hit that one over to the third baseman, who looks to make the grab. It was a hard hit ball off the bat and unable to gain control of the ball to make the toss, but keeps it in the infield. Suzuki over to first.
Yeah, Addy, that ball was absolutely destroyed off the bat of Suzuki. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's going to go down as a hit or not. That'll come up to our scoreboard operator, Joe O'Connor. Joe, what are we going? We're going error? Looks like it'll be an error.
Okay, it'll be an
Kosei
error.
Suzuki. And you can make an argument for either way, Addy. I mean, the ball did end up in his hands. It was a pretty bad hop for him, but he could have made that play.
Over on third is Jet Ressart for the San Diego Bombers. It was a hard hit ball.
It was really hard hit.
Give that to Suzuki. It was a very hard hit ball. I'm impressed. I will accept the error. I'm impressed that the third baseman made that play. You can kind of see him go back with the ball a little bit just on how heavy it was. And it looks like Suzuki has gotten himself in a pickle, and he'll be tagged out by the second baseman, E.J. Barnes.
Yeah, Suzuki looked like he was trying to get a jump on that, but the thing with left-handed pitchers is that they have a much longer time before they actually have to deliver the ball to the plate. So once he lifts that leg, he does not need to go to the plate. That's exactly what he did there. Suzuki thought he was going to get one sleeping there.
Kevin Spear hits that one over to the shortstop, who fires it to first. And that will be it for the second inning. The Bombers face just the minimum. And we'll head into the top of the third, looking for the first run of the game. It is the top of the third inning. The score is still 0-0. E.J. Barnes will lead it off for the San Diego Bombers. He'll face Troy Cooper on the mound. Cooper, who has faced just the minimum in the first 2 innings so far. He's recorded 3 strikeouts, 2 of which came from the second and 1 in the first. And Barnes will see strike 1.
Very much in control so far. I believe the term that we would use is cruise control, Addy. He has not really exerted himself very much in this outing so far. It's great to see.
Barnes, who plays over at second. He has seen quite a bit of action defensively so far. It's been 3 ground outs, and he tagged Kosei Suzuki out in that pickle in the bottom of the second inning, and Barnes will swing for strike 2. Troy Cooper, a Mustang at Cal Poly, played in the Super Regional out in West Virginia about a month and a half ago, keeping it local. I talked to him the other day. He told me that while he's, of course, playing here with the Blues this summer, he's also getting in some reps over at Cal Poly with some of the coaches who are still here and some of his teammates, keeping himself fit and ready for the 2027 season. The count is even to E.J. Barnes, 2 balls and 2 strikes, the leadoff batter of the inning. The pitch home is high for ball 3.
Good take right there. I mean, he's thrown that fastball in that same spot, and they've continued to try and hit it. You're never going to match plane with a high fastball like that unless your name is Shohei Ohtani. So good on him for taking that pitch.
The 3-2 pitch is fouled off over into the Little League field. E.J. Barnes from Southwestern Community College, originally from San Diego, California, staying local this summer as a Jaguar in the last season. He played in 43 games with 170 at-bats as he hits that one out into shallow center field, a little trifecta, and it looks like Diego Gonzalez, the second baseman, will make the catch. E.J. Barnes will pop out to the second baseman.
And that's a great play by Diego Gonzalez, because if you really think about it, the second baseman going back into the outfield does not have the angle on that ball. That really should be the center fielder or the right fielder taking control of that, but a fantastic job by Diego Gonzalez to chase it down.
That brings up Jackson Summers, the center fielder. First pitch will miss for ball 1. You can hear Bluebell's bell ringing down below us. A little check swing sends that one over to the home dugout. It looks like it almost hit our photographer and baseball ops. You can see Carter Bradley jump out of the way there down the first base side.
Carter Bradley and Scott Rapicelli, 2 peas in a pod down there in that corner where the Synergy camera is.
The 1-1 is sent back over the first base side. Jackson Summers, an engineer at Rose-Hulman University. And he swings for strike number 3. Another strikeout for Troy Cooper. That's the 4th in 3 innings, and he will face a designated hitter and bottom of the lineup, Joey Dossel.
Addy, I think if you're a fan of hot sauce, and me, I consider myself to be a fan of hot sauce, you'd want to come out to a Blues game. Grab yourself a program, and just about everyone in the stadium will win a bottle of hot sauce at some point.
I think it's gone to a point where I need to go buy a program. That ball swung on and sent foul. Looks like it was out of reach of the first baseman, Mason Ashlock. So that'll be strike 1 to Joey Dossel. I don't think I've ever had the hot sauce served here.
The hot sauce is pretty good. it's really good with breakfast. So
Okay.
like eggs, you know, breakfast burritos, great.
I think maybe we should get some to try on the broadcast.
On the broadcast would be great. That would be electric. We'll
Okay.
talk with assistant manager Tegan Schlosser and see if we can make that happen.
Called strike 2.
It's a great receive by Kevin Spear there because that pitch was just a little bit off the plate, but a good job by him bringing it back into the zone and presenting it to the umpire for a strike 2 call, affording Troy Cooper a spot to waste the pitch here maybe.
The count is 0-2 with 2 outs. The pitch is outside for ball number 1.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all.
Dossel played his last 3 seasons as an engineer. Hit .359 on the season in the spring. Did he go? No, he did not. That'll be ball 2. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Cooper will take a moment off the mound. The pitch home is hit over to the right fielder, Suzuki. That one will fall in the field of play, and that will be a base hit for the designated hitter, Joey Dossel. The first of the day for the Bombers, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Dylan Martin.
Good job by Dossel to fight that pitch off into right field. Obviously just trying to shorten his path to the ball with that swing. He found enough barrel to actually drive it over to Kosei Suzuki.
Dossel doing exactly what you need from your designated hitter and 9-hole, and that is bringing up the top of the order. And Dylan Martin will come to the plate. He popped out to 3rd base in his first at-bat. A little bit of a blooper going back over the head of Brendan Comerford. He was able to track it to the grass in left field and make the catch. He'll foul the first one off over the 3rd base side out into the parking lot. Joey Dossel, the designated hitter, stands on first after a base hit to right field. Dylan Martin, a Stag at Claremont Mud Script. He hits that one hard out to left field. And it looks like Kyle Becker will make the catch. The San Diego Bombers with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The score is still 0-0 heading into the bottom of the 3rd. Diego Gonzalez leads it off for the Blues. Here in the bottom half of the third, the San Diego Bombers with their first hit and first base runner in the top half of the inning. It's Joey Dossel, the designated hitter, hitting in the 9 spot. He's left on base. And Diego Gonzalez with his first at-bat. First pitch will miss low and outside for ball 1. Gonzalez at second base today. He did not appear in the game last night, but he did the day before, and he'll foul the one off over the third base side. He recorded a single in the 4th on Tuesday of this week. Played over at shortstop. Yesterday it was Brady Alves over at second as Gonzalez hits this one right up the middle. An effort by E.J. Barnes at second, but that ball will trickle into right field, and Gonzalez with a base hit.
You love to see that from Diego Gonzalez there, considering the fact that he's gotten off to a slow start this summer. It's mainly been the inconsistency in the amount of at-bats that he's been getting. Glad to get him some at-bats here in a game against the Bombers, turning the lineup over for our new leadoff man, Brendan Comerford.
Brendan Comerford, who struck out looking in the bottom of the first inning. He'll now step to the plate with Diego Gonzalez on first as he sees ball 1. Throw over to Gonzalez will not be in time.
And for those of you at home wondering, Brendan Comerford and leadoff doesn't really sound right. I'm going to throw a number at you, and it's why he's leading off today. 470. That's his on-base percentage. The highest on the team by a pretty wide margin. That is the reason why he is batting first today, for very good reason.
It's true. We've seen Comerford in the 3 spot most routinely this season, a couple times in the 2 as well as first time up in the 1. And we'll see what he does here with a runner on first. The count is 1-2. Comerford, a little bit of a jack of all trades, also has pitched for the Blues a few times on the season. As he hits that one hard out into center field. Coming in is Jackson Summers, but it's E.J. Barnes who will make the catch. Ball more over to right than to center. And that will be the first out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Probably just a little bit late on that pitch for Brendan Comerford there. I mean, generally, when you hit an inside pitch to the opposite part of the field, that just tells you what your timing on the pitch was. If you pull an inside pitch, you're perfectly on time. If you hit it to right field, you're just a little bit too late on it.
That'll bring up Diego Murillo, not to be confused with Diego Gonzalez, who's on first, as he takes strike 1. 5 balls have been put in play so far for the Blues. 5 balls that were ground outs or pop outs. 4 of the 5 were to E.J. Barnes over at second. The only straggler was a ground out by Kevin Spears that went over to the shortstop, Dylan Martin. And quickly, there are 2 strikes on Diego Murillo. He singled in the first. Off goes Gonzalez for second. That one hit hard out into center field, and Gonzalez will run back to first. And that'll be out number 2.
It's a beautiful piece of contact by Diego Murillo there. That's exactly what you want in a scenario like that, Addy. Unfortunately, pretty much right to the center fielder. He was shaded a little bit in between the gap between the left and the center fielder and was just able to get there on time.
The wind pushed the ball just a little bit. You can see how hard it's pumping from the flag out in center, but not enough to get away from Jackson Summers. And Cesar Chavez will come to the plate. Berchi throws it over to first. It'll not be in time. Chavez Chavez and Comerford flip-flopping almost a little bit. He's hitting in the 3 spot. We've seen him over in the leadoff quite a bit. That one thrown over to first, a little close there, but Gonzalez will be safe.
It's a really good pickoff move, Addy. I can see why Suzuki was caught a little bit off guard on that pickoff move that he got picked off on in the last inning. He's made some pretty good moves over there to try and get Diego Gonzalez.
Pitch home misses outside for ball 1. Cesar Chavez out in center field. As he sees ball 2.
Beautiful plate discipline by Cesar Chavez in this at-bat. As we talked about earlier, Addy is never going to be one to give away at-bats and knows exactly what pitch he wants in these situations that he wants to have him in.
Pitch thrown over once again to Diego Gonzalez over there at first. Right now, Chavez sits at second in the CCL in RBIs as of the stats yesterday, as he sees strike number 1.
It's a nice little get-me-over curveball by Sam Birchie, as you call it. When you're expecting fastball on a fastball count, but you think you can get the curveball over there for a strike, that's what we call a get-me-over pitch.
2 balls and 1 strike. And off goes Gonzalez. The throw down will not be in time. A stolen base for the second baseman.
Such a talented player Diego Gonzalez is. I mean, he's at the University of San Diego for a reason, Addy.
It's true. Another Torero on the team. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner on second. The Blues looking to score the first run of the game here against the San Diego Bombers. And the 2-2 pitch is slapped over to the third baseman. He comes in on it, makes the toss to first. It will not be in time. Round comes Diego Murillo, and he will score for the first run of the game.
And I swear to you, Addy, everything that Cesar Chavez touches turns to gold. A weakly hit ground ball to the third baseman. Hustles down the line, forces a bad throw. Diego Gonzalez comes all the way around to score the first run of the game. And don't look now, Addy. The Walnut Creek Crawdads are trailing the Alameda Merchants 13-3 and currently sit in first place right now because of the winning percentage being the tiebreaker. And so if they lose today, we win today, we're in a good spot.
And for you local Blues fans, that's important to note because the more home games, the better for all of us. We love to play here at Sinsheimer, and we'd love to see the Walnut Creek Crawdads fall and hopefully push the Blues up. Out from the dugout is the San Diego Bombers head coach. He seems to disagree with something on that play, and it's caused all 3 umpires to meet on the field. And they'll say Chavez is safe over at first, and Diego Gonzalez, he'll come in for the first run.
So I think what they were arguing about there, Addy, was Cesar Chavez's path to first base. They believe that he was in the lane for the first baseman to be able to make that play correctly. The umpires ruled he was not because obviously they never ever ruled that sort of thing, except against us, against Menlo Park last year. Well, that's a story for another time.
A well-hit ball over to the third baseman. It was hit pretty shallow, which made it incredibly difficult for Jet Grossar over there at third to turn his body and make that throw over to the first baseman, Aiden Harrison. That brings up Miles Mater to the plate.
And you have to wonder how many pickoff moves we're going to see from him in this at-bat here. Maybe he doesn't want to face Mater with a runner on.
Pitch gets a little bit away from Dylan Towning behind the plate. Chavez will not look to go. 2 balls and no strikes to the designated hitter. He grounded out to second in the bottom of the first inning. he'll foul that one to the backstop for strike one. The Blues with 3 hits and 1 run here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's game 1 of a 2-game series against the San Diego Bombers. The 2-1 pitch is fouled back over the first base side. A little crowd over by Beer 2 after the Blues score, you score pricing. After Diego Gonzalez came in for run number 1, numero uno.
Projects to score 5.5 runs today, Addy. We're almost there. I like to round up, so we'll say 6.
Okay. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Miles Mader. Throw over to first will not be in time. The Blues in their dark blue jerseys and pinstripe shorts compared to the baby blue and red uniforms for the San Diego Bombers. The 2-2 pitch misses outside, and the count is full to the designated hitter.
It's a valuable ball to take right there for Miles Mader, giving Cesar Chavez a chance to get a head start over there at first base while he looks to make some solid contact here.
The first baseman will step off his bag. Off goes Chavez as that one is laced down the third base side, and it'll fall way foul. And everybody will head back to their positions. Chavez will run across the field back to first, and the shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder.
Addy, have you ever heard of the term Major League Fly Ball? That ball was a Major League fly ball. That was so high in the air.
To me, that just looks like another chance at bat for Miles Mader. The count is full. Chavez stands on first. He'll head for second as Mader swings for strike number 3. The Blues record 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The Blues lead 1-0 heading into the top of the 4th. The Blues score their first run of the game in the bottom of the 3rd inning. An RBI single from Cesar Chavez brings in Diego Gonzalez for run numero uno. And we will head into the top of the 4th. Troy Cooper is still on the mound for the Blues, and he'll face Jet Grissart, the third baseman for the Bombers. And that'll be hit up the middle and fall for a base hit. the second hit of the day for the Bombers. And that'll come from the third baseman, Gianluca Finelli, the left fielder, will come to the plate for the second time today. He struck out swinging in the top of the first inning. And we'll look to do something about the base runner on first. We'll see ball number 1. 4 strikeouts so far today for Troy Cooper on just 2 hits. Big swing from Finelli for strike number 1. Finelli wearing number 21. And he'll hit that one over to the second baseman, who will send it to short, get the leadoff base runner. The play to first will not be in time, but Jet Grissart out on the base pads.
Great job by Diego Gonzalez to completely stop his momentum from going the other way and being able to get the lead runner. Very important to never let the lead runner take an extra base in a one-run game, even this early in the game.
Able to make a quick adjustment over there at second and get the first out of this inning. That ball hit hard over to Diego Murillo. Unfortunately throws it over to first and will allow Finelli to head to second. It was a great fielded ball by Diego Murillo over there at shortstop. He catches it in the air, a hard hit ball. You can see how hard it came at him. He falls to the ground, making the catch, and maybe thought that Finelli was more off the bag at first than he actually was. He tries to make the throw over to Mason Ashlock, who wasn't able to make the catch and allow Finelli to second.
I think just a case of trying to do too much there, Addy. Not really a throw that Diego Murillo had to make in a situation like that. Be it enough getting the one out right there, just hold on to the ball and walk it back to Troy Cooper.
At the plate now is Jeremy Jones. It's a really cool name. Kind of sounds like a superhero, Jeremy Jones.
Secret identity, like an
Yeah,
alias?
yeah. It's a very alias name. Maybe it is.
He could be Superman. You never know.
Finelli dances over at second as Jones hits that one over to Ashlock. He'll take it himself to first. And that will be it for the top of the fourth inning. No runs scored, 1 hit, and 1 runner left on base for the Bombers. And we'll head into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Blues leading 1-0. The left fielder Kyle Becker will lead it off for the Blues here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Blues lead 1-0. The San Diego Bombers with just 1 hit and a runner left on base in the top half of this inning. The first pitch is swung on and sent back to the center fielder, who goes back but will make the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out.
And Addy, you don't get to be the person that does not have a hit against left-handed pitching all season long without getting a little bit unlucky. That ball was crushed. Make no mistake about it. In the stat sheet, it'll go down as not a hit. It'll go down as a flyout. But let that be known that that ball was crushed, and that's a positive thing for Kyle Becker there.
To the plate now is Mason. He grounded out to second in his first at-bat. He did not appear in the game last night. However, he did the night prior. Recorded 3 strikeouts and a flyout. That was against the San Francisco Seagulls in the first game of the 2-game series. The count is 2-0 to Ashlock as he sees ball 3.
And this is what I mean by great discipline by Ashlock here, because if you think about it, early in the season you would maybe think that's a pitch he would swing at. Had absolutely no intention of swinging at that pitch this at bat.
The 3-0 pitch is a strike 1. The count is 3-1 with 1 out to the first baseman, Ashlock, as he sees strike number 2, and quickly the count is full. Sam Birchie making his way back through the count. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back. Mason Ashlock will stay alive here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The full count pitch is up high, and he will draw a walk. The first base runner of the fourth inning for the Blues.
Addy will see if the Blues can score some insurance runs here for Troy Cooper. I believe Troy Cooper's day is probably over. San Luis Obispo native Felix Stork warming up in the Blues bullpen.
Kosei Suzuki to the plate with a runner on first. Mason Ashlock a good at-bat to draw a walk. He'll throw it over to first, and the tag will not be in time. Kosei Suzuki reached base on an error. And he'll see strike number 1. Fooled by the great pickoff by Sam Birchie. He takes off for second, but is tagged out by the second baseman. Birchie will throw it over again to Mason Ashlock on first. Once again, not in time. The pitch home is swung on and sent hard to right field. That will fall fair, and round goes Ashlock for third and Suzuki to second. A double for Kosei Suzuki here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and quickly the Blues with 2 runners in scoring position.
A bit of an inside out swing there from Kosei Suzuki. Addy, that pitch was inside, drove it over there down the right field line, and it's such a positive sign from Kosei Suzuki, who last year with the Blues hit north of 400 against left-handed pitching. this year hitting sub 100, having 2 hits against left-handed pitching so far in this game.
A great hit from Suzuki. It barely trailed the line fair, but went all the way back, making the right fielder chase that one as Kevin Spear knocks that one over to third base, and Jet Grissart will throw it home to get out Mason Ashlock. Kevin Spear will get on with a fielder's choice and runners on the corners for the Blues.
Generally not what you want if you're Mason Ashlock in that situation. I mean, the ball was hit directly to the third baseman, really soft. He was always going to have control of the ball and not misplay it. If you're going to make a run for it at home plate there, you wait until he makes the throw to first. You did not need to take off immediately as soon as the ball was hit.
Off goes Kevin Spear for second. There's no throw. And once again, runners in scoring position. At the plate is Diego Gonzalez. He steps up with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the 4th. He'll foul that one to the backstop for strike 2. The count is 0-2. Diego Gonzalez, who singled in the bottom of the 3rd inning and was brought around by an RBI single from Cesar Chavez for the first run of the game. The count is 0-2. There's 2 outs. Diego Gonzalez at the plate. The pitch is swung on. It drops. He'll make the throw down to first, and that will be it for the 4th inning. The Blues with 1 hit and 2 runners left on base. The score is still 1-0. The Bombers will be at the plate when we get back. Felix Stork takes the mound for the Blues here in the 5th inning. He comes in for Troy Cooper, who went 4 innings, faced 14 batters with 4 strikeouts and just 2 hits, no runs scored. Felix Stork, wearing number 11, will come to the mound. Stork appearing in his 6th game on the season so far for the Blues. And he will face Dylan Towning to lead it off. He shows bunt, lays one down the third base side. Stork will pick it up with his glove, send it way over the head of Mason Ashlock at first. Gonzalez will retrieve it, and Dylan Towning will take first base.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, Addy. With Felix Stork, I've known Felix Stork since he was 16 years old. I've seen him pitch at San Luis Obispo High. The one thing about Felix Stork, outstanding pitcher. They've always had to work on PFPs with him and fielding his position. He's very good at throwing the ball over the plate, getting guys to swing and miss, getting his strikeouts and things like that. He is very much a work in progress when it comes to fielding his position, though. That is an error on the Felix Stork.
Well, the San Diego Bombers with a runner on first base. And E.J. Barnes at the plate.
Let's talk a little bit about Felix Stork and what he has to offer. He very much likes his fastball. He'll throw it 95% of the time. Comes in at 87 miles an hour, but gets, on average, 25 inches of induced vertical break. That means if that's coming at the top of the zone, you're never going to match plane with it, and you should not swing at it. He generates whiffs at a 43% rate at the top of the zone with his fastball. And that's an impressive feat despite only throwing 87 miles an hour.
The count is 1-1 to E.J. Barnes. He popped out to the second baseman in his first at-bat. Pitch will miss outside for ball 2. On first is Dylan Towning, the catcher, at the plate. E.J. Barnes. Big swing for strike 2. The count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the 5th inning.
And that's what I mean with Felix Stork. Expect to see swings and misses. Very good at getting anybody to swing and miss at his pitch. Doesn't matter what conference, what division, what anything you play, he can get you to swing and miss.
The 2-2 misses outside, and the count is full to E.J. Barnes. The count is full. There's no outs here in the top of the 5th inning. On first is Dylan Towning. The pitch home misses outside, and Barnes will draw a walk. Dylan Towning over to second. The second runner in scoring position for the Bombers today.
Tried to get his fastball in a location down just enough for him to think about swinging at it. Unfortunately, did not fully finish the pitch. That ball was a little too far out for him to even be thinking about swinging at it.
Jackson Summers will now come to the plate, but not before a mound visit. Felix Stork, who last appeared against the Philippines baseball group. He went 1 1/3 innings with 1 strikeout, 1 hit, and 1 run. He'll now face Jackson Summers at the plate. On second is Dylan Towning. On first is E.J. Barnes. At the plate, the center fielder. There are no outs here in the top of the 5th inning. The Bombers chasing one as Summers shows bunt. Mason Ashlock at first. Coming in, he'll lay it down the third base side. Brendan Comerford will make the play and throw it over to first base for out number 1, but Jackson Summers moving his teammates over. Dylan Towning now stands just 90 feet away from scoring the first time the Bombers have had a runner on third, and E.J. Barnes over to second.
Picture perfect bunt defense. That's something that's going to leave Dean Trainer smiling in the dugout. Brendan Comerford charging that ball, getting it on time. Diego Gonzalez shifting to first base. That's poetry in motion, Addy.
Poetry in motion. The designated hitter, Joey Dossel, is now at the plate. He'll see strike one. Does not seem to agree with that call. Dossel, who singled in the top of the third inning. Big lead over at second by A.J. Barnes. As Stork throws in ball number one. 2 runners in scoring position for the Bombers. There's one out here in the 5th. The pitch from Felix Stork misses outside for ball 2. The infield on the grass, playing in tight. Two balls and 1 strike to the designated hitter. The pitch misses low and outside for ball 3.
And if you're Felix Stork, you're really thinking, I have to get into the zone on this pitch. I do not want to load the bases and make this harder for myself in a situation where I couldn't get this person out.
Especially with the top of the order on deck. 3 balls and 1 strike. The pitch is laced over to Mason Ashlock, who makes the catch for out number 2. Almost an ideal situation there for Felix Stork. I mean, a strikeout or a flyout or even line drive, as we just saw in the infield, necessary to keep Dylan Towning over on third and Barnes at second. And quickly, there are 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning, and Dylan Martin, the leadoff batter for the Bombers, at the plate.
And you love that, because now if you're Felix Stork, you're thinking, I can kind of let rear back and fire my best fastballs without worrying about walking this hitter.
Dylan Martin, who popped out and flew out so far in the day, he'll hit that one back over the third base side foul for strike 1. The Blues lead by just 1 run here in the top of the 5th inning. The Bombers with 2 runners on, both in scoring position, with 2 outs and the leadoff batter at the plate. He'll hit that one high to center field, and Cesar Chavez will make the catch to finish out the inning. The Bombers score no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. They chase 1 going into the bottom of the 1st inning. Brendan Comerford leading it off for the Blues today and leading it off here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. The Blues lead by just 1 run, and he'll look to do something about that. We mentioned his on-base percentage earlier on in the game as he fouls that one off over the first base side. He's struck out and popped out so far on the day, itching for his first hit against the pitcher, Sam Birchie.
Hit, walk, anything works here. You're just trying to lead off the inning, get on first base.
The 0-1 pitch is low and inside for ball number 1 to Brendan Comerford.
And we talked with Brendan a little bit about this throughout the season. As we know, he loves that number 3 spot more than probably anything in the world. But he did say, I let off a little bit at Ohlone College, so I am comfortable with it.
He hits that one up to the shortstop, who fires it to first base. And that will be a ground out for Brendan Comerford here in the 5th inning. Comerford, who's made contact in the last 2 at-bats, so at least putting the ball in play, just getting unlucky with the placement. Diego Murillo will come to the plate. He singled in his first at-bat, stole second, and a balk put him on third. Did not make it back home. He then flew out to center in his second at-bat. First pitch misses inside for ball 1. There is 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Murillo sees strike 1. The Blues leading by just 1 run. We're already halfway through the game. It's been an hour and 30 minutes already halfway through. The pitch is swung on for strike 2.
Birchie has had such a good tempo in this game, Addy, even with all of the throwovers that he's made. And counting in my head, I believe he's thrown over to first base at least 6 times so far today. He's not taking his time on the mound, and he's just going after the Blues hitters.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Diego Murillo. The pitch way off the plate for ball 2. The count is even to Diego Murillo. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. The 2-2 pitch misses inside, and the count is full. Game 1 of a 2-game series against the San Diego Bombers. They'll play again at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and hit over to Barnes at second. He makes a throw across his body to first for out number 2. That's the second out here in the 5th inning, and Cesar Chavez will come to the plate. Chavez, who's reached base in both of his at-bats. He drew a walk in the first. That balk got him to second base, and then an RBI single in the 3rd to score Diego Gonzalez. He'll come to the plate with no runners on and 2 outs. The first pitch inside for ball 1. Chavez, who RBI'd twice in the game last night. Once in the game before. Once in the game before that game. Let's keep going. All right, his last time was against the Arroyo Seco Saints on Saturday. Last time he did not RBI. The count is 3-0 to Cesar Chavez, and he will draw a walk on 4 pitches from Sam Birchie. The Blues with a base runner and 2 outs for the designated hitter Miles Mader.
And the Blues have an embarrassment of riches at the top 3 of their lineup, Addy. When you're thinking about people who can get on base, you're thinking about ranked 16 in the CCL in on-base percentage, Brendan Comerford. Ranked 18th in the CCL, Diego Murillo. Ranked 30th in the CCL, Cesar Chavez, all above 400. All very capable of leading off an inning and taking walks like that.
Cesar Chavez has reached base now 3 times today. Twice from a walk and his single in the 3rd. Mader at the plate his 2nd time, coming up with 2 outs and a runner on. The last time he did it, it was Cesar Chavez on first. Strike 1 to Miles Mader. He struck out swinging in that last at-bat. Throw over to first is not in time.
One thing that a good pickoff move can actually do to your running game is make you much less aggressive. The fact that he's checking over at first base so often and with such a good move, the Blues are thinking twice about taking that run for second base.
No balls and 1 strike to Miles Mader as he sees strike number 2. Sam Birchie way ahead in the count here. Yesterday, Caleb Cassidy, the designated hitter. Today, it's Mader at the plate. That ball thrown over to Chavez at first. The count is 0-2 to the designated hitter, Miles Mader. On first is Cesar Chavez. He takes for second. He'll slide in head first, and the throw will not be in time. A stolen base for Cesar Chavez, and ball number 1 to Miles Mader.
$43.99. Go to the marketing tent. Get your SVC cushion from Promotional Concepts.
And with that, stolen base moves into a tie for second base in the CCL, and stolen bases with his 13th on the year. Addy.
Chavez just an all-around player. No surprise he's heading up to the All-Star game. And off he goes for third. A pass ball puts Chavez just 90 feet away from scoring. The deuces are wild to the designated hitter, Miles Mader. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch is swung on, and Miles Mader is out at the plate. The Blues with no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. They still lead 1-0 heading into the top of the 6th inning.
There's the bucket.
Zach Savino on the mound for the Blues here in the top of the 6th inning. The right-handed sophomore from Cuesta College, staying local this summer, originally from Atascadero, so I suppose staying local all year round. This will be his 7th appearance with the Blues. He'll come in for Felix Stork, who pitched 1 inning, faced 5 batters, no strikeouts, 1 walk, no hits, and no runs scored. The 3rd pitcher for the Blues today. And he will face the 3rd baseman, Jet Grossart, to lead it off here in the 6th. The Blues with just a 1-run lead. They scored their only run in the 3rd, an RBI single to score Diego Gonzalez from Cesar Chavez.
Coming to the plate for the San Diego Bombers, number 12, Jet Grossart.
The Bombers in the last inning. And Air gets Dylan Towning on base to lead it off in the 5th, followed by a walk by E.J. Barnes, and then a ground out, a line out, and a fly out to end the inning. They leave 2 runners on base. And Grossart will see ball 1. He'll hit that one off the end of the bat out into left field. It will drop fair. Back to the fence is Kyle Becker, who will throw it in, but that will be a double for the 3rd baseman in the top of the 6th inning.
Down to number 21, Gianluca Fanelli.
Gianluca Fanelli, the left fielder, will now come to the plate. A runner in scoring position for the Bombers, the 4th time they've had a runner in scoring position today, the 3rd time on second. Staying tight to the bag is Diego Gonzalez. That pitch will miss outside for ball 1.
Let's talk about Zach Savino and what he has to offer a little bit, Addy. Zach Savino armed with a fastball that goes up to 90 miles an hour with induced vertical break, roughly around Felix Stork's level. So he throws a little bit harder than Felix, gets roughly the same right as he does. Is also armed with a slider, curveball, and a splitter.
The 1-0 is swung on for strike 1.
Zach Savino, who used to be a catcher at Atascadero High School before converting to pitching full-time last summer for the Blues.
He last appeared on Saturday against the Arroyo Seco Saints. He pitched 2 innings. As Fanelli sees ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. A runner on second. There's no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Big swing from Fanelli for strike 2, and the count is even.
Good pitch there by Savino to keep him off balance. You can't always throw the fastball in every single count no matter what. No matter how good your fastball is, eventually they're going to time it up. Good on him for breaking the speed a little bit there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Gianluca Fanelli struck out swinging in his first at-bat and reached base on a fielder's choice in the 4th. That ball chopped to the pitcher, who will send it to Mason Ashlock at first, and that will be out number 2. Grossart over to 3rd base, and 1 out here in the 6th.
Very productive out there. I mean, that's a spot where Zach Savino really would have loved a pop out or a strikeout. Unfortunately, a weak contact back to the pitcher did not give him enough time to be able to take that to 3rd base, take the free out at first, and hope you get a strikeout here.
Aiden Harrison will come to the plate for the Bombers. A runner just 90 feet away from home. and to tie the game for the Bombers. Strike one to Harrison, who struck out in the second inning and lined out in the fourth. He'll hit that one over to Murillo, who will take it home, and tagged out at home is Grossart for out number 2. Aiden Harrison will reach first on a fielder's choice.
Great play by Diego Murillo. Once again, in a high pressure, high intensity situation, not letting his internal clock speed up too much, slowing down, making the perfect throw to home plate, allowing Kevin Spear to tag the runner out at home.
And Jeremy Jones will come to the plate. Aiden Harrison now stands on first after a fielder's choice gets out. Jet Grossart going for home. Harrison dancing over at first. And as Jones sees strike one. A ground out and a strikeout for Jones so far today. Pitch back over to Harrison on first. Throw back over to Harrison on first. Just one pitch to Jones in this at-bat. Dancing is Harrison, and that prompts Savino to throw it back over.
It's a good move by Savino right there to keep the runner at first, too. I mean, in the same way that Birchie was really, really good at keeping the Blues from running, Savino doing the same thing here.
That ball fouled back over the third base side. It's the count 0-2 to Jeremy Jones. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch is swung on and sent high to left field. That ball will fall out of bounds, and Jones another life at the plate. Savino well ahead of the count here against Jeremy Jones. Ashlock stands on first with Aiden Harrison. Throw over will not be in time.
Clap, clap your hands. Clap, clap, clap your hands.
No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch home is high. Throw down from Kevin Spear to first is not in time. And Jones will see ball number 1. A lengthy at-bat here for Jeremy Jones, coupled with a couple of pickoff attempts by Savino and foul balls. And he swings for strike number 3. The Bombers with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. They trail by 1 run as we head into the bottom half of the inning. A new pitcher for the San Diego Bombers. Coming in for Sam Birchie is Osias Hinojosa. And he will face Kyle Becker to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bombers with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base in the top half of the 6th. They trail by just 1 run against the Blues, and that pitch will get away from the catcher Dylan Towning for ball 2. Kyle Becker with a ground out and fly out so far today. Out in left field as he fouls that one back for strike 1. A look at Hinojosa. Plays at Adams State University. Originally from Escondido, California. In this last season, he both pitched and hit. But let's take a look at the pitching. He appeared in just 1 game in 3 innings with 3 strikeouts and 4 walks, an ERA of 12. And the count to Kyle Becker is 2 balls and 2 strikes. As he fouls that one back again. And it looks like we got another Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference player. Adams State plays in the RMAC. The 2-2 is swung on by Kyle Becker, and it looks like it was a drop third. Becker unaware as he heads back to the dugout.
Let's talk about Osias Hinojosa a little bit here, Addy. He's a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, changeup. Fastball is what he likes the most, but depending on if he's facing a righty or a lefty, he will switch it around just a little bit. To the righties, he throws more curveball, 37% of the time, and then 9% changeups. Lefties, 10% changeups, and 5% curveballs.
He now faces Mason Ashlock as he sees ball 1. Ashlock, who walked in his last at-bat. Check swing, and he'll foul that one off for strike 1. Ashlock, who walked in his last at-bat, made his way to third, but out on a fielder's choice, going for home.
The Blues clinging to this lead as much as they can, too, because confirmed final from Chabot College, the Walnut Creek Crawdads fell to the Alameda Merchants 13-3.
A win here would be huge for the Blues when you look at those power rankings. And as we start to think about home field advantage and where the Blues might have to travel in the CCL playoffs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mason Ashlock as he sees strike 2. The count is even with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A run has not been scored since the 3rd. The solo run of the game for either team. 2-2 is hit over to the third baseman, who fields the ball and sends it to first for out number 2.
Such a huge swing in percentages, too, when you're really thinking about it. I mean, considering the fact that not every team in the CCL plays the same amount of games, the Walnut Creek Crawdads came into the day with an .810 winning percentage. Losing that game today, dropping them to 17-5, brings them all the way down to a .773 win percentage and second place.
I personally would love to not have to travel back up to Walnut Creek. I'm more of a Southern California kind of girl.
You didn't love your time in Danville?
I did not. Did you? You came.
This is my second time there. I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
Monte Vista High School.
Yeah.
It's a nice high school.
It was.
Very nice. Very nice city, too. Very nice city, Danville.
No, it was very nice to be up there, but it was hot. That's my bigger thing. I cannot take the heat.
It was pretty
and
hot.
And neither could our equipment, apparently.
Yes, the equipment died
Yeah.
a very violent death.
The count is 1-1 to Kosei Suzuki. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 1-1 pitch is swung on hard down the third base side, but that'll fall out of bounds in foul territory.
Positive sign. That means Kosei Suzuki is reading the pitches correctly. That ball was smoked down the left field line. Wait just a little bit there, and that ball is completely down the line, and he's at second.
Suzuki, who doubled in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. A big hit from the right fielder. The 1-2 pitch is swung off the bat and sent foul into the bushes on the other side of the ballpark down the first base line.
Walsh Engineering being our free foul ball sponsor today.
The count is 1-2 to Kosei Suzuki. There's 2 outs here in the 6th. Big swing from Suzuki to finish it off here. Osai Hinosa comes in this inning. He serves up 2 strikeouts and a ground out to end the inning. The Blues still lead 1-0 heading into the top of the 7th. Leading it off for the Bombers in the top of the 7th inning, it's Dylan Towning, the catcher wearing number 24.
Zach Savino getting his 2nd inning of work as well. Addy just well-deserved after his 1st inning.
That one hit hard into right center field. Incoming is Kosei, but it looks like Cesar Chavez will make the catch. Some good communication by the outfielders there to get out number 1.
Such an important thing in baseball is always the outfield communication, Addy. Cesar Chavez was not the closest person to that ball, but the center fielder is technically the captain of the outfield. If he says it's his ball, you better get out of the way.
E.J. Barnes now coming to the plate. We've seen the outfield rotate a little bit throughout this season. We saw Kyle Becker, who's out and left today, but we've seen him in center quite a bit. Chavez kind of occupying that spot in the more recent games, as well as Jake Hicksonball out there a couple times, Dom Nahar, Tate Blasey, and then the lineup we're seeing right now with Kyle Becker and Kosei Suzuki in left and right today. 1 ball and 1 strike to E.J. Barnes. It's the top of the 7th inning.
Addy, I think by the end of the season, you and I might get some innings in the outfield, considering
at this point,
how many combinations we've had out there so far.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I do great, except during day games with the sun and tracking with the wind. I've seen, from this perspective, it's really easy to see how the ball moves depending on the time of the day and how the wind is moving. Today, it's mild down a little bit, even considering, I know you guys can't see it now, but when we switch the angle, even considering the flag, still moving pretty hard to left field, that's not even as bad as we usually see it. I think that's where I would struggle, is tracking the ball, especially out in center or left. That's
why they say Sinsheimer Park is the hardest place to play the outfield in the CCL.
2 balls and 2 strikes. E.J. Barnes at the plate. And Kevin Spear will keep that one in front, but the count runs full. Barnes, who popped out in his first at-bat and then walked in his second, looking to make something happen for the Bombers, who trail by just 1 run. That one hit down over to Mason Ashlock, who fields it in great positioning for out 1.
Mason Ashlock turning himself into a heck of a first baseman, Addy.
He really is. That was a very routine way. I admire the way that he stopped that ground ball. It reminds me of Little League days, how my dad would teach me how to pick up a ground ball. And there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Jackson Summers at the plate. He'll see strike 1. Zach Savino, the 3rd pitcher for the Blues today, his 2nd inning. As that one falls low and outside for ball 1.
Nice attempt by Kevin Spear to try and drag that pitch back into the zone. Umpire didn't go for it, but that doesn't mean the pitchers don't love throwing to him for that reason.
That ball hit over to Gonzalez at second. He'll make the throw to Ashlock at first, and that will be it for the top of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. Zach Savino faces just the minimum, and we will be back with the Blues bats. But first, we will stretch it out here at Sinsheimer. Kevin Spear will lead it off for the Blues here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The fans are all stretched out looking for another run for the Blues. They scored last in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the one and only run of the game so far for either team. On the mound once again is Osias Hinosa.
Hey kids, if you signed up for Footloose
Ozias Hinojosa with the ball one to to Kevin Spear.
Kevin Spear sees strike number 1. Hinojosa, who faced just the minimum in the bottom of the 6th inning. Spear, who grounded out and reached base so far today. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. And the count is 1-2. Does he go? Yes, he did. The first base umpire calling out Kevin Spear. He will strike out swinging and bring up Diego Gonzalez.
Yeah, Kevin Spear had a bit of a case there with the first base umpire. I think in some situations when you've sold it just enough, everybody is so very adamant. Yes, he swung. The umpire is going to be inclined to call that.
Diego Gonzalez at the plate now. Gonzalez, who singled in the 3rd and was the only runner to be brought all the way back home after an RBI single from Cesar Chavez. And then a drop 3rd strike gets him out in the 4th. The count is 1-1 with 1 out.
So it looks to be widening up a little bit in the later half of the innings.
A called strike 2 to Gonzalez. Do you have a fan guess yet?
You know what? My IDAR has been off lately. You know that.
Gonzalez fouls that one back to stay alive.
But I think in the back of my head, I do truly believe that I have a guess for the attendance.
Well, you have to say it
out loud right now.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Because we'll get that sheet soon. It's already the 7th.
I'm gonna guess. I'm going 9-12 today.
Really?
Yes.
What was it yesterday? That one hit over to E.J. Barnes at second. He'll field it and make the throw to first for out number 2. Diego Gonzalez with a ground out will bring up the top of the order, and Brendan Comerford, who is still searching for his first hit today.
You spend a couple days in the lineup or without being in the lineup away from baseball. It's going to take you a little bit to get in that groove again. The groove that we saw Brendan Comerford in the last time that he saw game action was that huge hit up the middle that delivered 2 runs in the big comeback against Arroyo Seco.
A big hit for not just the Blues, but Comerford, who kind of needed that little boost of reassurance. A game-changing hit. And we'll see if he can put another one in play here in the 7th. The Blues with a very, very dangerous lead. They're up by just 1 run, and it's not like the Bombers have not been in scoring position a handful of times already today. There's 2 outs here in the 7th.
And for Brendan Comerford, I mean, that was a huge hit for him against Arroyo Seco, because it felt like after every game he would come up to me, Vincent, the baseball gods continue to hate me every single day.
He hits that one hard right past the third baseman, and it looks like the baseball gods were listening today. Brendan Comerford with a single, the sole base runner of the bottom half of this inning.
Brendan Comerford, your fight with the baseball gods is over. What a fantastic hit. That ball was smoked to the third baseman over there.
The third baseman, Jet Grossart, made an effort to make the play, but that ball hit just past him for a single for Comerford. That'll bring up Diego Murillo. He singled in the first, followed by a fly out and ground out. He fouls that one back for strike one.
You have to wonder if Brendan Comerford is thinking about taking second base here. The Blues running game has been pretty much neutralized by the left-hander today. With the right-hander in the game right now, do they look to start running wild?
Pitch misses outside for ball one. There's 2 outs. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Comerford dancing over at first. A big swing from Murillo for strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A runner in Brendan Comerford stands on first. He will take off for second as Murillo chops that one to the third baseman. He'll field it and send it to first for out number 3. The Blues with no runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. They still lead 1-0 and will head into the top of the 8th inning. Brent Gallegos takes the mound for the Blues here in the top of the 8th inning. The Bombers have yet to score a run. The Blues have scored only 1. And at the plate is Joey Dossel as he sees ball 1. Vincent, tell everyone what your guess was for the fan attendance.
Okay, so I got a little jump scared looking at all of the numbers on the sheet that were in the 1100s. So I went ahead and changed my guess to 999.
Do you think it was fair that although you said 912, I believe, that you got to change it?
Yes. I have the right to do whatever I want when it comes to the guessing game.
Okay.
What did you guess?
951.
Oh, so I beat you.
Not necessarily.
No, I beat you.
Oh, crap. We know it. Let me see it. All right, guys. We'll tell you the fan attendance for today. 1,019. I think I'll be the toilet bowl for today. I really thought I had you beat. Looks like that one hits off the hands of Dossel. He appears to be in a lot of pain as he took that one straight to the hands.
As he conferring with the umpire. Did the umpire call this a foul ball?
The athletic trainer coming out of the Blues dugout. And he'll walk with Joey Dossel down to first. I can't say that you can really deny that kind of reaction.
No, that hurts. I mean, that's. I've been around teammates who have had that happen to them. I've never had that happen to me, but especially if you hit it on the part of the bone, like what is this part of the hand right here, the knuckle?
Your knuckle.
If you hit it off the knuckle, that's where it is the most painful.
Yeah.
And like, especially with Brent Gallegos, because Gallegos can get it up to 89, 90 miles an hour, especially now that he's stretched out for the summer. That is very painful.
It looks like Joey Dossel will exit the game. He's holding his hand as he walks into the dugout, and number 48, Aaron Mingo, will come in to run for him over at first. It looks like Dean Traynor may be arguing that that wasn't a hit by pitch, but he will head back to the dugout. I really just don't think you can fake that kind of pain. I mean, he immediately reacted, dropped the bat, and went to hold his hand. I mean, he left the game appearing to be in significant amounts of pain. And the pinch runner, Mingo, will stay on first, and the top of the order will come to the plate. And that'll be Dylan Martin.
Not the start Gallegos is looking off for just coming into this game. Let's hope that he can get a strikeout here and kind of get on track. I mean, a strikeout works, a double play works, anything but a hit, because a hit may tie the game here.
Gallegos throws that one over to first. It will not be in time. Mingo dances over on first, and Gallegos will throw it over again.
And this is part of being a complete pitcher, Addy. You can have the best stuff in the world with the best command in the world, but if you cannot hold runners on, you are not a complete pitcher. Brent Gallegos doing a really good job of holding the runner at first.
Dylan Martin has yet to see a pitch in this at-bat, and he'll see ball one. Throw over to Mingo over at second. The tag will not be in time. Martin has seen just one pitch so far in this at-bat. And that'll be ball number 2. Looks like the athletic trainer is walking with Joey Dossel, who was just hit in the hands in the first at-bat. Three straight balls to Dylan Martin at the plate. On first is Mingo, who is pinch running for Joey Dossel, who was hit by pitch, the leadoff batter of the inning. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch home is ball number 4. Dylan Martin will draw a walk, and Mingo will head to second for a runner in scoring position for the Bombers.
And you have to love this from Kevin Spear, Addy. I mean, immediately after the ball 4, jumping up to go give his pitcher back some of the confidence that he may have lost on the last 2 at-bats. Kevin Spear is such a leader out there whenever he's behind the plate. It's wonderful to see. And it looks like Dean Traynor is going to come out to talk as well. Perhaps to set their defense. If there's anything that Dean Traynor loves, it is setting a defense when there is runners on or running a play.
Up to the plate next. Next will be the third baseman, Jet Grossart. And it looks like Trainer will head back to the Blues dugout. And Kevin Spear back to the plate. Runners on first and second base. Aaron Mingo on second, and Gallegos will step off the bag and throw it back to the shortstop, Diego Murillo. Ashlock off the bag, coming into the infield, and round comes Comerford as well. And it looks like you called it exactly as you said. Some defensive action from the Blues infield. Mason Ashlock creeping in along with Brendan Comerford and Diego Murillo heading over to third.
Addy, that is a bunt defense known as the wheel bunt defense.
The count is 0-1 as that one misses just outside. The corner infielders on the infield grass. The pitch home, low and inside for ball 2. Two balls and one strike. No outs here in the top of the 8th inning. The San Diego Bombers trailing by 1 run. The pitch is sent up the middle over the head of Diego Murillo into center field. They hold Mingo at first, but that ball gets away from Kevin Spear on the throw-in, and he will score. The game is tied here in the top of the 8th inning.
That couldn't have happened in a worse way, Addy. I mean, the ball completely went through the 5-hole of Kevin Spear. Cesar Chavez trying to make a play, throwing it all the way home. The runner never even thought about leaving third until the ball got past Kevin Spear. Maybe a moment where you want to hit your cutoff man.
The ball way over the head of Kevin Spear coming for home. I mean, Mingo was completely stopped at third. I mean, the sign was up. He was not going for home. And that will prompt Dean Trainer back out to the mound.
Looks like we're going to see a pitching change. I believe that to be Blues closer Chance Jasso in the bullpen, and this looks like it might be it for Gallegos.
We will let you guys know when we get back here on the Blues Streaming Network. Chance Jasso on the mound for the Blues here in the top of the 8th inning. He comes in for Brent Gallegos, who faced 3 batters. Let up 1 walk, 1 hit, and 1 run. The game is now tied 1-1. The Bombers scoring their first run in the top of the 8th inning. The Blues theirs in the bottom of the 3rd. And Chance Jasso now on the mound, looking to finish it off here for the Blues. His 10th appearance on the season. He's pitched 10 and 2/3 innings with 15 strikeouts, a whip of a 1.13. He will face Gianluca Finelli and will inherit 2 base runners. Standing on 3rd is Dylan Martin, and on 2nd is Jet Grosset. Chance Jasso, the first pitch is swung on and chopped to the second baseman. He does not make a throw in time. A split from Mason Ashlock on first, trying to get that ball in time. He looked almost a little confused as to where he was going to send that ball. It was Diego Gonzalez on second. He feels the ball heading towards the left side of the field and doesn't make a toss to second or a throw to first in time. And the Bombers score another run here in the 8th. They now lead the Blues 2-1. At the plate is Aiden Harrison. He'll come up with a runner on first and second.
Bluebell is not pleased at the lead one.
He hits that one high in the infield. Kevin Spear will call for it and make the catch for the first out here in the top of the 8th inning. The Bombers have already scored 2 runs. There's 2 runners on base, and Jeremy Jones, who has yet to record a hit today, will come to the plate.
Such a huge out for Chance Jasso there, and I mean, this is the evolution of Dean Traynor. Your closer does not always mean you need somebody to pitch in the last inning. It can be the highest leverage inning, and this is the highest leverage as any other inning that we've seen so far in the game.
Jeremy Jones, who's struck out twice and ground out to the first baseman so far today. He'll see strike 1. This inning started off with a hit by pitch, followed by a walk. Both of those 2 runners have now scored. On second is Jet Grosset and Gianluca Finelli. The count is 1-1 with 1 out here in the 8th. The Bombers lead by 1 run. And that will be ball 2.
And this is the dangers here of not being able to hit the zone, Addy. I mean, a walk, a hit by pitch, pitches that are not going in the zone. Every pitch that you throw that's not a strike increases the chances that runs are going to score on you in the inning.
The pitch home is low and inside for ball number 3 to Jeremy Jones. The sun has begun to set here at Sinsheimer. A purple-blue haze fills the sky around the mountains. The lights illuminating the field. Chance Jasso on the mound. The Blues trailing by 1 run. The 3-1 pitch is low and inside for ball number 4. The bases are loaded for Dylan Towning, the catcher. And Chance Jasso will take a breath on the mound. Came in for Brent Gallegos. after he faced 3 batters. Towning, who has yet to record a hit today. He reached base just once on an error from the pitcher at the time, who was Felix Stork. The first pitch is swung on and hit to shallow left field. Diego Murillo will make the catch, and no runners will take off from their bases, and that is out number 2. What an out for Chance Jasso. I mean, absolutely necessary in a bases loaded situation with just 1 out at the time.
I mean, given the situation and the leverage that we're in, the playoff spot that we're battling for, that might be the biggest out of the season so far, Addy.
E.J. Barnes will come to the plate. The second baseman who reached base just once off of a walk. And he'll come up with the bases loaded. He will see strike 1. A recap: on first is Jeremy Jones. On second is Gianluca Finelli. And on third is Jet Grosset. The pitch home is a called strike 2. Jasso way ahead of the count here. And fans adamantly calling for hot sauce. The 0-2 pitch at the head of Barnes. He ducks under for ball 1. No free bases to put Barnes. The count is 1-2. Pitch way up at his head. Swung on and sent foul down the line of first base. Boy, was that close. Mason Ashlock made an attempt to get the ball in the air, and it barely skirted the line foul.
If not for the wind, that probably scores 3 runs.
What a hit by Barnes right there, a hack at it by Barnes. And thankfully for the Blues, does not land in fair play. The count is still 1-2. E.J. Barnes heads back to home plate. He'll take another hack at it. Chance Jasso on the mound for the Blues. Infielders off their bags, along with the 3 base runners. At the plate is the second baseman, E.J. Barnes. The count is 1-2 with 2 outs. The pitch is swung on, and that is it for the top of the 8th inning. Chance Jasso comes in and sits down the last batter, E.J. Barnes. 2 hits, 3 runners left on base, 2 runs scored for the Bombers here in the top half of the 8th inning. They now lead the Blues 2-1. They'll look to get that back as we head into the bottom of the 8th. the Bombers now lead the Blues 2-1 after scoring their only 2 runs in the top half of this inning. And coming to the plate is Cesar Chavez. He has reached base in every single at-bat so far. He holds the only RBI of the game, scoring Diego Gonzalez in the 3rd. Gonna need a little bit more of that magic here, even though he's the leadoff batter, to at least tie it up for the Blues here. He sees strike 1, and the count is 1-1. Chavez, who walked, singled, and then walked again. It'll be his 4th time at the plate. That pitch missing way off. Brent Gallegos started it off in the 8th before Chance Jasso came in to get the 3 outs of the inning. And Chavez sees strike 2. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch home is swung on, and that is it for Cesar Chavez here in the 8th inning. The first out, a strikeout swinging here in the 8th.
And that's a rare sight to see Cesar Chavez swing and miss at anything. 98th percentile in the CCL in whiff rate. His first swing and miss of the day so far.
For the Blues, number 48, designated hitter Miles.
The designated hitter, Miles Mader, will come to the plate. Mader, who's rounded out and struck out twice swinging. He'll look to get things started here with 1 out on the inning. First pitch is swung on for strike number 1. The Blues and the Bombers with identical hits. The Bombers with just 1 more run so far today. The Blues have left 8 runners on base. They've brought just 1 around on 5 hits.
And that's kind of been the story over the past week, is the large amount of numbers that the Blues have left on base. There was a time in back-to-back games against the Saints where they left 10 on in a row.
Strike number 2 to Miles Mader. The count is 1-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The tying run at the plate. The pitch is swung on, and back-to-back strikeout swingings for Hinojosa. And that'll bring up Kyle Becker. Kyle Becker, who has yet to record a hit in the game today. He's ground out, flew out, and struck out. He will try to create some action for the Blues here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Pitch is hit hard and high out to right field. It'll go over the head of the right fielder and back to the fence. Kyle Becker will go for 2, and he'll have it. A double for Kyle Becker here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Blues have a base runner.
And that's what makes Kyle Becker so dangerous, Addy. I mean, first pitch swinging, he got a pitch that he knew he could handle, immediately deposited it over the right fielder's head for a double.
I mean, that ball just absolutely sent back to the fence, right over the head of Jeremy Jones out in right field, and puts himself in scoring position for the first baseman, Mason Ashlock.
And that's got to feel good for Kyle Becker. I mean, who was a San Diego Bomber last year, did want to play in this game tonight, Addy, to prove that he could do something against his old team.
And he does just that. His first hit of the game, his first time on base as well. And A double in a pretty critical situation. The tying run now stands on second. To take the lead is Mason Ashlock at home plate. 1 ball and no strikes. There's 2 outs here in the 8th. The pitch home is way off the plate for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch in the dirt for 3 straight balls to Mason Ashlock. He walked once in the game so far, while Sam Birchie was on the mound.
This will be a test of his newfound plate discipline, Addy. I mean, 3-0 with 2 outs, down by 1. You really shouldn't have the green light here. If he gets a pitch down the middle, let's hope he just takes it and lives to fight another pitch.
The count is 3-0. The pitch home is a called strike 1. On second is Kyle Becker. A big hit from the San Diego native. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blues trailing by 1. The pitch home is way off the plate. It gets away from the catcher, and Becker will head to third. Mason Ashlock draws a walk, and the Blues have runners on the corners. Becker standing just 90 feet away from tying the game, and that will prompt a mound visit to the pitcher.
Incredible base running there from Kyle Becker, heads up. I mean, as soon as he saw that that ball was in the dirt, he made a break for third base and never looked back. And the Bombers look like they're hurrying things up. I mean, they immediately went out for a mound visit. Pitcher in the bullpen immediately started running out there to get hot. That looks like to be number 55, Nolan Farley.
The coach will head back to the dugout, and the catcher, Dylan Towning, behind the plate. And Kosei Suzuki will come up with 2 runners on base and 2 outs. Suzuki with a big double in the 4th inning. A hit like that will absolutely score Kyle Becker, but even a ground ball out of the infield will be just fine.
23 Dom Nahar now at first base.
Looks like a pinch runner for Mason Ashlock. That'll be Dom Nahar over at first. Called time by the umpire. Pitcher will step back on the mound and send in ball 1 to Kosei Suzuki. On third is Kyle Becker. On first is Dom Nahar, who came in for Mason Ashlock, who drew a walk. Count is 1-0. Off goes Nahar as Suzuki sends that one to the shortstop. The throw will be in time.
And the fans are booing, and they have a case there because Kosei Suzuki looked to have beaten that by at least a half step. Dean Traynor is going to come out and make his case, but that looks to be the end of this inning.
Kosei Suzuki not wanting to leave the field. You can tell he really thought that he deserved that one. I mean, it was a well-placed hit. The shortstop, Dylan Martin, fielded the ball, but it was coming in towards second base. His momentum was going to first, but the ball was hit in a way that he had to get quite low for it and kind of slow down and speed up to make the throw over. I'm not surprised that Dean Traynor is trying to make a case to the first base umpire.
And I mean, that is a fantastic play by the shortstop. I mean, that's a really tough play to make right there. It's a bang-bang play. I mean, here in the CCL, the umpires really don't have any backup to make calls like this. So once they make a call, usually it does stand. I don't think there's any way this gets overturned, but Dean is probably going to ask him to look for some help on this one.
And it looks like that'll be it for Dean Traynor. We'll head back to the dugout. The Blues with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. They trail by 1 run to the San Diego Bombers, and we'll have the top of the 9th when we get back. The Bombers lead the Blues 2-1. We are in the top of the 9th inning. The Bombers scoring their only 2 runs of the game in the top of the 8th inning after a hit by pitch to the leadoff batter and a walk to the second. Both of those 2 runs scoring. And now at the plate is Jackson Summers. Summers, the only Bomber to not appear at the plate in the last inning. And he'll face Chance Jasso. First pitch fouled off to the backstop for strike 1. Little fielding change for the Blues. Now over at first is Sean Rivas, wearing number 19. As that ball is hit sky high up the middle of the field. Diego Murillo, never mind, it looks like Diego Gonzalez will call for it and make the catch for out number 1. Some good communication by the 2 middle infielders and Cesar Chavez in the center to make that catch. And that'll bring up Aaron Mingo. Mingo, who came in to pinch run for Joey Dossel in the 8th inning after Dossel was hit in the hands by the pitch. This will be his first at-bat of the game, and he will see strike 1.
And what you're really hoping for here after such an emotional end to the last inning, you need a shutdown inning from Chance Jasso here, Addy.
Blues leaving 2 runners on in the bottom of the 8th inning. And as Jasso serves strike number 2. The top of the order on deck for the Bombers. Fans bellowing for some hot sauce. As that one gets away from Kevin Spear for ball 1. The Blues with just 6 strikeouts today, 4 of which coming from Troy Cooper in the first 3 innings. The count is 1-2. The pitch, a called strike 3. Make that 7. Aaron Mingo sat down for the second out here in the top of the 9th inning. The Blues can absolutely not let up another run. They'll have just one more opportunity in the bottom half of this inning to get that run back and at the minimum tie it up.
One thing you'll never see in games like this, Addy, with the Blues getting struck out more than they're striking people out. The Bombers have struck them out 9 times. I believe that was their 8th K today? 7th K today.
At the plate now is Dylan Martin. And he will see ball 1. It's very unlikely, especially when you compare it to games like yesterday. "12 strikeouts for the Blues in yesterday's game against the Seagulls." That ball hit far to right center field. It looks like a little collision between Kosei Suzuki and Cesar Chavez out in right center, and that will allow a base runner to second.
And it looked like Kosei Suzuki tried to call Cesar Chavez off that ball, but again, the center fielder is the captain of the outfield. If he says he's got it, you got to get out of the way. Unfortunate that a miscommunication happened right there.
And the Bombers with a runner in scoring position. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. They already lead by 1. The Blues obviously will be allowed to the plate in the bottom of the 9th to try to make that back. The last opportunity in regular innings for the Bombers to score a run. And at the plate is Jet Grosset. He fouls off for strike 1. Pitch is fouled back to the backstop once again for strike number 2. Jasso way ahead of the count here. There are 2 outs. A runner stands on second. The Bombers lead by just 1 run. On second is Dylan Martin. The 0-2 pitch is swung on for strike number 3. Chance Jasso finishes it off here in the top of the 9th inning. The Bombers with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We will head into the bottom of the 9th inning. The Blues trailing by 1 run, and we'll have it here on the Blues Streaming Network when we get back. The Blues trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning on the mound. For the Bombers to finish it out is Nolan Farley. And he will face Kevin Spear, who shows bunt, but pulls it back for ball 1. Farley going into his junior year. That pitch low and inside for ball 2. The count is 2-0 to Kevin Spear. He'll swing for strike 1.
fans chanting, "Come on, Blues," hoping for a comeback here.
The Bombers with 7 hits compared to the Blues 6. As Spears sees strike 2.
And you can see Spears' displeasure with that call, wondering why he's not getting that call on defense. And then it gets called against him for a strike here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
2 balls and 2 strikes. He will swing, and that one will drop. The catcher, Dylan Towning, will make the play to first for out number 1. Coming into the plate is Diego Gonzalez. Gonzalez, who singled in the 3rd, was the only Blue to touch home today after an RBI single from Cesar Chavez. And he'll hit that one over to second base, 1 hop and a throw to first for out number 2.
Not the type of at-bat you want there in the bottom half of the 9th inning when you're trailing by 1 run. I understand if you have a pitch that you see that you think you can drive, but it was a softly hit ground ball to the second baseman. Unfortunately, just doesn't work out that way sometimes.
Now number 2, Brendan Comerford.
The top of the order, Brendan Comerford, will step to the plate. He singled in his last at-bat. And he hits that one high and hard out to right center field. That ball is going back. It'll touch the wall. He'll head for second. A little mishap, and he'll go for third. The throw coming in. There'll be no play at third base. A triple for Brendan Comerford.
And that's why you bat him leadoff, Addy. That's why your best hitter should get as many at-bats as possible. Put him in the most optimal situations to bat with when the game is close. Statistically, the 3rd hitter is always the one that gets left on base at the end, or on deck at the end of the game. So put him at 1 and see what happens.
And that will prompt a visit to Nolan Farley. Faced just 3 pitchers so far today in the game.
Ozone landscaping and Central Coast synthetic turf. Casserobles roll-off. Petra Mediterranean pizza and grill.
It looks like they'll keep him in.
Promotional concepts. Radiology Associates.
And
Richardson. Rick Engineering.
see what he can do with Diego Murillo at the mound. Murillo, who singled in the 1st, followed by a fly out to center, a ground out, and another ground out. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Blues trail by 1 run, the tying run on 3rd, and Brendan Comerford, the first pitch, gets tangled in the feet of catcher Dylan Towning, but he'll keep it in front for ball 1. A high-intensity moment for Diego Murillo. He's done wonders over at shortstop. We'll see what he can do at the plate here with 2 outs and the game on the line. A pitch will miss low and outside for ball 2.
And Addy, let's think about back to last year. Diego Murillo was consistently captain clutch for the San Luis Obispo Blues, including a walk-off in the final game of the year against the Orange County Riptide to send the Blues to the playoffs.
The 2-0 pitch is hit down the third base side. That will fall foul for strike number 1. Diego Murillo. A 2-1 count with 2 outs. Brendan Comerford stands on 3rd. The 2-1 pitch is swung on for strike 2. The deuces are wild. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The tying run stands on 3rd. The pitch is hit over to the third baseman. He fields it, he sends it to first. And that will be it for the ball game.
And that's the ball game. Final score.
The Blues lose to the San Diego Bombers. Final score 2-1. What an effort by Brendan Comerford there in the bottom half of the ninth. A triple coming to the plate with 2 outs and unable to capitalize. Diego Murillo out on a ground out to the third baseman to end the game. The Blues led 1-0 for the majority of the game before letting up 2 runs in the top of the 8th. The 2 base runners who scored, the first was Aaron Mingo, who came in for Joey Dossel, who was hit by pitch, and the second was Dylan Martin, who walked. The only 2 base runners to score in that inning. And the Blues unable to put one more across the plate to tie it up. We saw Troy Cooper started off on the mound, followed by Felix Stork, Zach Savino, Brent Gallegos, and Chance Jasso close it out. And unfortunately unable to take this one home for the Blues. The Blues with 7 hits, 2 errors, 11 runners left on base.
And that's always been the story, at least for the past couple of games, Addy. I mean, leaving runners on base is poison to a baseball team. And let's call it what it is. These micro moments that they had with runners on, you can point to Kosei Suzuki maybe beating that throw out at first base, but even outside of that, you left 8 runners on, 9 runners on. Like, it is what it is. I mean, the Bombers played very well today. We'll say that. The Bombers K'd us 10 times a day. They walked 3 players. They K'd more than us. They walked less than us. And so, unfortunately, as is the way that baseball goes, baseball is a very hard sport to perfect, right? And unfortunately, the Bombers were the better team tonight. We'll come back tomorrow and hope for a better result.
The Blues will take on the San Diego Bombers once again tomorrow. Game time is 6 p.m. We will have the Ancient Hour pregame show 10 minutes before, so tune in at 5:50 to listen in for that before first pitch. Another night here at Sinsheimer. We will be back with you guys tomorrow, 5:50 for